All right, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful day. Today's shiur should be Le'ilu Nishmas, our dear friend Menachem ben Yisrael Yaakov, as well as my aunt Rivka Bas Gavriel Tzvi, and the Refuah Shalema for Meshulam ben Sarachel, as well as the Refuah Shalema for Miriam Basara. Now, we are on Perek Vav, and the arguments that we're making over here is going to be 7 arguments or 7 refutations that Chovos HaVavos is going to point out for this person in particular. We're talking about one person in particular. This person who demands of Hashem that Hashem give him a deposit. What does he mean? He means that Hashem, first I want to make sure I have my parnasa. First I want to know I have enough money. And then I'm going to start doing what you ask. I'm going to start learning and doing mitzvahs and davening and all that stuff. And so yesterday we spoke on the first refutation. We said, we in the beginning, in the introduction, we said that it's like a merchant who requests an advance or a security deposit. And so yesterday we spoke about that part. And today, and the second one, we're going to discuss that also on the same notion as the merchant, but a little bit of a different idea. Now, V'hasheni. And in the second response that you give this person who tells you that I can't learn right now, I can't do mitzvahs right now because I first need to make money in order to support myself and my family. Shekol hamakabel mashke mechaveroi, that normally, and he's going still on the whole concept of this merchant, normally when anyone accepts a security deposit from his fellow, when a merchant takes a security, yeshloi kitzva luvakashasa tichla. The security has a set amount and his request has a limit. What does that mean? So if the person is buying a $100 item, so the merchant might request from him a mashkin that's worth either $100 or a security deposit that has some sort of maybe a 50% deposit on, or there's some kind of amount, there's a calculation there. Okay? Ach bal hadas hazois, but for the one who has this approach of requesting a security from Hashem, so now this person we're comparing it to the merchant and he's asking Hashem for a security deposit, ein katzlav hakashasai. There's no end to his request because you don't have any basis point over here. What are you going to base it on? Like, I just need and need and need and need and need. The mindset is always to just need because he doesn't know how much he actually needs. Because he's saying that when I have enough saved up that I don't have to worry anymore for the rest of my life, then I'll do it. But how do you know how long your life is? Because he does not know what amount will be sufficient to support himself for the future, upanasas anshe beisoy, and to also support his members of his household, mimazan u'masayrim, with their necessary sustenance and additional things. So not only, maybe today, we have a mindset, okay, if I only had $100,000 a year, times that by 60 years, okay, great, that's all I need. But you don't know what inflation, your kids get bigger, everyone needs more stuff, you want more things. Ad yoim moisay, until their last day on earth. The person claims that he will devote himself to Hashem's service after he makes enough money that he has enough to sustain himself. But when does that happen? He says, until I die. When are you going to die? You might die tomorrow, you might die in 100 years. We don't know that. In fact, even if eventually he has many more times the funds that he needs that he initially thought, he cannot have peace of mind. Why? Because at the end of life of all people's house is concealed. He doesn't know what his end of life is. It's kind of the idea of like you say, when someone's struggling and he says, okay, if I only made enough money just to cover my bills, that's when I'll be more calm. Okay, then the person starts making enough money to cover his bills. He says, you know what? If I make enough money, I have to add some for savings. For my 401k, I need to make a wedding. And it keeps going on and on and on and on. As that time goes on, his basis cost of living goes up. And so there really is no end to this concept of when I make enough. Umidas yemeim eina yedua. And the span of the days is unknown. So you don't know what's enough until when. So he can never be sure that he truly has enough money. So if he can't be sure that he truly has enough money, he's never at peace. Even though he said, yeah, when I have $1 million, I'll start learning. When I have $10 million, I'll start learning. He makes that $10 million next year, and he's like, I'm not sure. Maybe I won't make any more money. Maybe it's the last $10 million I'll ever have, and this is not going to be enough to sustain myself. He also wants to support his kids. He wants to support the grandkids. And so he starts putting all these calculations and he never has enough. V'hu sachlam b'masha v'kesh. Thus he is being foolish and unrealistic in regard to what he is requesting as a security from Hashem. Because it has no limit and there's no set amount. He's saying that this person, it's impossible for him to put a ceiling on the security that he needs, because his life can constantly change. He might have more children, his kids will get married, have more grandchildren, all those different things he's going to have, and his life is just going to continue to need more. The requirement is going to need more because that's just the way it goes. And so when you tell Hashem, when I have enough to live, there really is, when he's comparing it over here, that there really is no serious number that you can come up with. Unlike the merchant who says, you want to buy a $100 item? Perfect. I need a $50 deposit. Or I need a mashkin worth $100. Over there, there's a set amount. There's kind of a bar to set over there. But with this, we tell this person that you're foolish because there really is no number over here. You're really putting yourself in a position where this is just infinite. And so at the end of the day, what we're trying to prove over here is that because you will never ever get anywhere with that, and even though you're saying you want to learn once you have financial security, but that financial security will never ever leave you. So what we're saying is, first do what Hashem wants. You do that part. That's the order you should follow. Follow that order, and then you should go ahead and you should do Ishtadlus. We actually learned a few weeks ago. It says in Tehillim, it says that first trust and then go and do it. Why? Because first you got to trust it. Then you go and do your process. You go do whatever you need to do in order to get by, and that's going to follow. But the idea over here is that don't flip the script over here. You don't need to think that you need your money before you do Hashem's will. You could do Hashem's will at the same time that you're doing your Ishtadlus, and you will be successful, Be'ezer Hashem. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Have a lovely rest of your day, especially on the slopes over there, Eli, and I love you all.